and welcome to another edition of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle. I'm on the Moog Show here at 91X Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 10. And as always, I have my beer partner in crime with me, Paul Segura, brewmaster of research and development at Karl Strauss. And today we have California Wild Ales with us. We've got Cameron and we have Billy. These are the co-founders, brewer, and then also does all the art and marketing is what Billy does. So welcome to Beer for Breakfast.
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Yes.
Super excited. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't gotten the chance to try your guys' beers yet, so I'm really stoked about this.
We can do that right now.
Let's do it. So what is the first beer that we're having today?
So this is our salted Loquat, or excuse me, yuzu. And this beer, it took about 1.5 years to make.
So a wild ale, by definition, is a beer that's been spontaneously fermented, sort of, right?
Yeah, so our process, we're not doing spontaneous fermentation. Right now we're using Brettanomyces in all of our beers. Our location, our barrel house is strictly wild ales, so everything there is...
So you guys have your own cultures that you're working with to try to maintain consistency and the flavors you want.
Consistency with wild ale, so it's a little bit of
that might be asking a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, this is the salted yuzu, so give it a shot.
Cheers. Are we missing a glass? Do we need one more glass?
Oh yeah, I've got it.
There we go.
We forgot Cameron. Cheers.
He's so busy pouring for us.
That is a very wine-like aroma. Are they wine barrels then for this one?
Yes, we use basically neutral red wine barrels. We get a lot of them from Justin's Winery up in
You can really smell it, man. That's a really nice aroma.
Yeah, American, French, and Hungarian oak is what we use. So
Hungarian oak?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Yeah, Hungarian oak is really aromatic. I think it's the most aromatic out of all of the wine barrels.
No kidding. I didn't even know they made wine in Hungary.
Right? I know, huh?
Where'd you guys get a hold of those?
So Justin's Vineyard up in Paso Robles. Where we've sourced most of our wine barrels from.
Okay.
And we make them neutral right now. And
So when you say you make them neutral, what does that mean?
we get all the wine character out of them.
Pull a lot of it out.
So we like to age stuff in neutral wine barrels. The red wine, we're just not a fan of. With our beer, it's not. It kind of clashes a little bit. So
okay, so you don't want like any of those flavor characteristics that are the wine.
Right, we get a little more of the oak and stuff like that.
We want more of the oak. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, you totally get the oak.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There are not a lot of vanillins though, but you do get a really nice oak character coming through this. And it has a really pleasant vinous character as well. Yeah,
so this is salted as well. So kind of took the Goza style and made it our own. We didn't add coriander, but we really let the yuzu kind of shine through with that. We didn't want to cover it. Yuzu? So yuzu is Asian citrus.
Okay, all right. So I'm looking at it, I don't know what that means.
It's got a softer, more complex profile than a Myers lemon. So it's very nice and complex. And
so are all your beers blended after they're pulled out?
Yeah, so we do still fermentation and we also do a lot of barrel aging fermentation as well. So we'll start usually in the barrel, and then from there we'll let the beer age and mature after it's fermented in the barrel, and then we'll blend those into totes and fruit
them in the totes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll go through and do tastings on the different barrels, and then pull out ones that have, this one's a little funky, this one's a little tart, blend them kind of together, pump them up into a tote, throw some fruit on them, see how they do it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Cool.
And then most of the stuff is gravity fed in the brewery, just because, we started really small, and that's the only way we could do it. So, it's all.
Well, I applaud you guys for your whole business model. The way you guys kind of started out really small with some barrels and kind of grew the barrels and.
Yeah, we're trying not to put the horse before the cart. I think a lot of times people get in this and they just bite off way more than they can chew, and then you're fighting that uphill battle the whole time of trying to make these numbers. Whereas now we're just trying to create the beer and make it good, and then I think we'll grow from there.
So what is your story? Because you are fairly new, correct? Like you guys just recently opened. So how did we get to this point?
So about 5 years ago, I drank a Cantillon beer and instantly fell in love with this style of beer. And I just couldn't believe that this beer was so complex and there was just a lot of things going on. So I was working in fine dining at the time and I couldn't afford to buy these beers. So I need to start making these beers. And so from then on, we found some business partners, and I met Billy and met Zach as well. And they, we all have the same kind of philosophy and goals, and we want to, really just stick with and focus on, sour beers and making the right way. There's no, there's no shortcuts with this beer. We can't make this beer in a month. It's on average, they take about a year.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
So when you say the right way or no shortcuts, are you referring to kettle sours?
Yeah. There is a way to make these beers a lot faster. Of course, you sacrifice
They
complexity.
don't always have the same complexity, right?
Right.
Yeah,
They're generally one-noted. And I've never made one of those, and I never will. Just, I'm really focused on I just think there's so much complexity when you add the oak in there, and, you're actually using wild yeast with the beer.
Whole fruit and
Whole fruit.
We're not a lot of stuff locally and organically if possible. And,
awesome.
We don't have an Oregon fruit puree count. It's at the local farmers market. So.
That's so cool. That's
so
really
we make
cool.
our own purees if we're gonna add that type of fruit to the mix.
Awesome.
But we try to stay local. We've been using farms up in Fallbrook.
And in Poway, we're working with a third generation farm up there in Poway, where we got all our nectarines and peaches for our stone fruit sour.
Very nice.
So I had a friend who worked for them for the farmers market. So every Sunday we just go there and take whatever they had that was getting a little soft or getting a little weird they couldn't sell, and we just cleaned it up and froze it for months, and then we just had 2 freezers just filled with stone fruit. So
That's amazing.
Wow.
I just read this study about how people who eat healthy food waste the most food because they throw them away.
Right.
That's awesome that, that's perfect case in point. It's fruit that's, not exactly desirable to consume, but you can make it into something else.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
the more overripe the fruit is, the better. Really for us.
More flavor you're going to derive from
Yeah,
it?
and you get a lot more of that sweetness. You get the natural sugars that the Brettanomyces can eat. And
All right, so let me ask you guys. I mean, to me, there's a lot of art when it comes to doing this the way you guys are doing it, right? Not just in figuring out the correct beer or appropriate beer to put in a certain type of barrel, like a Hungarian or whatever barrel, but then also which bugs you're going to put with the base beer that's going to go into that barrel. And then on top of that, which fruit is going to go with the type of bug and the type of base beer and the type of barrel. I mean, there's a lot of variables in
So
this equation.
there is, but we kind of try to simplify it a little bit by having 3 bases that we kind of work with. But you could take, base 1 and put it in a white wine barrel and then add this fruit. And you could take that same base and put it in a red wine barrel and add the separate fruit. So you get a lot of different variations you can come up with off of just the different bases. So we kind of find that we found those work really well, and then just being able to just make those slight changes where you can take put in a white wine barrel and throw apricots on it as opposed to red wine barrel with cherries or something. You're going to get a totally different flavor.
Right. So with the bugs, I mean, I would see if you're using cherries, maybe a lactobrevis or something to kind of pick the cherry flavor up, or if you're using stone fruit, maybe a Delbrueckii to kind of...
Really what we're trying to do is, if you go to Belgium, their breweries are, there's beer everywhere. It's on the walls, it's everywhere. So we've kind of taken the same philosophy, and we want the one house culture to really thrive. The one house culture that we have that has multiple strains of Brettanomyces in there, we kind of just let it grow and do its own thing. We don't really want to mess with that house culture.
Okay, so that in its sense is kind of wild, right?
Yep.
You're just kind of letting it go and evolve and become what it is.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's rad.
Yeah, we just want to kind of have our own style and house character, and really letting it develop. And it comes on pretty strong in the beers, and we want that kind of funk.
I dig it.
We like that a lot.
All right. So people who are learning a lot about you guys right now who may not be familiar with you guys. This is like,
Speaking of funk, did you guys want to try the guava?
Yes.
So before we move on, this beer is extremely drinkable. I mean, it's not extremely face puckering tart, and you get the salt, it really is complex in flavors, and I could drink a lot of this in the San Diego warmth.
Well, that's what we want.
Good for the summer.
Our stuff, I feel like, is very balanced. It's definitely not the most sour beer, but it's tart, it's drinkable. We want you to have a flight of beers when you come to our tasting
It's got
room.
almost a champagne finish to it with the really tight bubbles at the end.
Yeah.
I really like that too.
It is really spritzy.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect for the beach.
I don't use that word very often.
I've never even said that word. So.
Spritzy. What year is it again?
It really is.
Am I a 20-year-old girl? It's spritzy.
I shouldn't have used that word.
Oh,
I'm
using
never
that
gonna hear the end
forever.
of it now.
Using that forever. Remember that, San Diego. Spritzy. Paul Segura.
So let me this is our Guava Wild Ale, and same philosophy. Let the beer age in wine barrels and ferment in wine barrels, and then we added guavas.
Yeah,
to
this
the
one's
fruit toast.
set in guava for
And so,
quite a
speaking
while.
of, this is super. This one's got a little bit more funk than some of our other beers.
So I'm going to comment right off the bat on your bottle conditioning. It looks perfect. You guys have the right, I assume your bottle conditioning, so there's
Yep.
a secondary fermentation in the bottle.
Absolutely.
Your CO2 looks right on, and the beer's pouring with a beautiful head and lace. Look at that. Look at those legs.
Look at those
Don't you like
legs.
Legs.
Nice legs and nice lace.
I like a good leg.
Look at that. Oh, we're still talking about beer, right?
Mr. Segura.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
So this one's set on guava for almost 6 months, right?
Yeah.
This was a tricky one to make,
Wow.
but it's got a really good nose on it. We're really happy with basically how everything about this beer. It's really good.
Got a super kind of funk nose to it.
Wow, it does have a slight funky nose there, but I
it's
also kind of smell the guava there.
And it's not on the palate, so the funk is just in the nose. You're not tasting it.
I like
nice.
that it's not super sour. Like, it's not as sour as the one that we had before. It's just
Right.
a little bit more.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
What kind of guavas were used?
Pink guavas.
Pinks?
Yep. And we pureed those and put them into the fruit totes, and from there we let it sit for quite a bit. And we're going to actually be we actually released this guava
Next week.
one week ago. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
a week ago.
yeah.
Sweet.
So-
It's tasty.
So you guys have a membership program, right?
do.
Where people sign up or pay a month, and then they get first dibs on all your releases?
Right, we've already closed the memberships, so that's actually
so you guys
done.
got to jump on it quicker.
Yeah, but we do have a pop-up tasting room that we're doing on the weekends. So people will get a chance to come in and try the beer, and then if they like it, hopefully take home some bottles as well.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll be open every Saturday, 4 to 9.
Very nice.
12 to 9, yeah.
Oh, 12 to 9.
12 to
Okay,
9,
12 to
there
9
you
every
go.
Saturday.
And the
so-
location?
And Sundays.
We're in
12 to
Sorrento
5.
Valley, so we're at 4202 Sorrento Valley Boulevard, Suite L and M. We've got 2 roll-up doors, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Saturdays.
I have a question.
Okay.
Just because we've been doing this a little over 2 years now, and I've never seen this before. You guys asked if we could open the bottles before we started. Why?
So, much like wine, if you open it up, you let it air out and let oxygen get introduced to the beer, it really opens up the aromatics of the beer. So, kind of took a page out of, winemakers in the wine industry, letting it open up, letting it sometimes get warmer. So, as it warms up, you get different aromatics and you get different flavors. So, yeah, we really like to let it kind of open up and do its thing.
I found that very interesting because I've never had anybody ask that before. So I was like, what kind of trickery, what kind of magic are you working over here?
Yeah, we're really into taste and aroma and just making sure everything, is.
You find sometimes it loses some of the funk if it breathes a little bit longer?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I just think,
My beers are never around that long enough, so.
yeah, these are
I
pretty.
see you are drinking them pretty fast.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
I have beers for breakfast, right?
Well, and these are fairly low ABVs also, right?
They're all about 4.7.
Oh, see, there you go.
Under 5%,
They're-
sessionable beers.
Yeah.
They're definitely good for,
Which is nice.
out in summer sun drinking, not too heavy, won't wear you down.
I would say that these are good convert beers also. For like a lot of, if you're,
For wine drinkers.
For wine
Yeah.
drinkers,
Speaking of,
yeah.
we poured at a wine festival about a month ago, so that was we had really different reactions, because people have never really had this type of beer and, don't even know this stuff exists. So that was really kind of a cool thing to see and experience, introducing wine drinkers to the beer.
Yeah, because it's
And
not
I-
too far off that palate.
Yeah, and I would say
Yeah.
there's been a little bit of a shift in San Diego beer also, like towards sours.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would even say, like a few years ago, there weren't
No.
very many sours out there. You didn't have people ever asking for them.
Right.
And now, like I work at a tasting room and I always have people asking about sours. And I'm
Yeah.
like, We don't have.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we started this, because we couldn't find them out in town. So,
Definitely an underserved market for sure.
Yep.
yeah, well, right now we're one of the only exclusive sour beer breweries in the county. So that's our primary focus. We don't make hazy IPAs or kettle sours or any of the others.
This might be who dethrones you guys, the Queen of Tarts.
No, that is a great beer. Actually, that is one of my favorite beers.
We actually met
that.
Sean Steele when we were first starting out, and he kind of took us under his wing a little bit and brought us over to the barrel house and showed us some of his process. And
I'm glad to hear that.
It was really cool. Yeah,
teach somebody to fish and they eat for a lifetime, right? It's all about sharing.
Really cool with this whole industry. Everyone just kind of pulling each other up and kind of building each other up and just trying to move this whole craft beer forward, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are off and running. I mean, your beers are solid. Seems to me you guys have been doing this for many years. I mean, they're already nicely balanced, really complex, just the right amount of tartness in there. And
yeah, that's what we're all about, yeah. And I don't know if you guys are ready yet, but we have a watermelon as well.
Heck yeah.
And
twist my arm.
This watermelon is, I think, my favorite one we've done so far. It is a little bit unfiltered, so it's got a little bit more of a body to it.
So watermelon is not an assertive fruit.
It's not very easy to
You guys have to use a whole bunch?
So we actually we went to Chino Farms, and they had red and yellow watermelons that they were trying to get rid of, and I was like, well, this is perfect. So I took those watermelons and I juiced the watermelons and then reduced all of that juice to a concentrated form.
Via heat?
Via heat, and then it took about 10 hours to reduce all of the watermelon juice, and then I added that to the beer. But that beer took about 7 months to really develop and really come to what it is now.
I'm anxious to try it. It's got
Yes.
a nice sort of golden, slightly pinkish color, maybe slightly copper. Oh, wow. So I get...
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Have you tried it yet? Oh.
It's good, right?
Yes.
Wow. It almost reminds me of a watermelon jelly rancher. If that's I'm like, oh, this is...
It kind of does, but then you kind of get the wood
Yeah.
kind of layered on there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else in town has a watermelon sour beer.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Really proud of this beer.
Wow.
And this is we only made enough just for the members for this one. So this is going to be a members exclusive beer. So just a perk for everyone who kind of got behind us when we were
So
starting
it
out.
might show up at some bottle shares or
Possibly
whatnot.
some bottle shares. Yeah, we've got a couple left over for that. And, you guys are probably one of 12 people that have even tried it so far. So
Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah,
for letting
totally.
us try it.
Yeah, we're really excited about
We
this.
feel special.
Oh, it's so good.
Man, it does have a really nice sort of aged wine oak character.
yeah.
Yeah, we try to get a little bit of that in all of our beers.
beautiful.
So most of these beers have been 9 to 12 months aged in oak barrels. And then, depending on which ones we chose when we're blending them, that's why we say about 9 to 12 months.
I like that.
I do too.
I can see why you like it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
It's one
So
of
is your philosophy to make beers that you guys like, and then
Well, yeah, I mean,
chances are somebody else will like it,
think
everybody else will like it?
If you make something that you like, and if you really like something, chances are you're not the only one out there that does,
Yeah.
Yeah. And this style of beer alone is super, niche, but if you can dial it into what people are really looking for, I think we've got something for everyone.
I
Yeah,
can
we-
see a lot of
we-
people liking this one.
Yeah, we really just strive to have balanced beers. We definitely are not the most sour beer brewery, but I think they're very drinkable and.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I'm an IPA person. I love hops. I'm super IPA. So when I saw, I was like, oh, sours.
We could have dry hopped one for you.
But I loved all three of these. All three of these were awesome. And I mean, this just continues to reinforce that your palate is ever changing.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't just not drink a style because you think that you don't like it.
Yeah, that's these are definitely beers that have taken a while to make, and there's, like I said, there's these beers there's no shortcuts, you know.
So what happens if like this just starts taking off for you guys? Are you guys ready for the onslaught? Are you guys?
Yeah,
Bring it on.
we're ready.
Bring it
Yeah,
on.
we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We've grown this very slowly, but we knew these beers take quite a bit of time. So you know, we're ready. We've been open to the public now, and
I'd start buying some more barrels if I were you guys.
Yeah, no, we're on it. After these pop-up tastings, we're going to do another fill, more barrels, and just kind of max out the whole space.
we're growing organically.
Stack them 4 high, and just rows on rows.
Well, running out's not always a bad thing if you guys
Right.
do run out, because
Right.
that creates demand for
The
the next.
exclusivity,
Yeah.
Yep. But we're not in any risk of running out anytime soon. So we've got quite a bit of beer.
Very
made
cool.
and-
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I have one last question.
Sure thing.
Tell me about these little guys because I think that they're awesome.
Yeah, so these are our little,
Little monsters.
These are our little wildlings. So when creating the logo and brand for this thing, kind of was like, California, well, it's kind of been played out, like everyone wants to do the bear and the flag and all that. So I was like, what about the wildling thing? So we treated these are our little bugs. So we got Brett, Brettanomyces here, and Lactobacillus,
yeah.
and then Pediococcus here.
Okay.
And there's 3 of us owners, and those are the 3 main bugs that we use. So we figured.
The funky bunch.
That's me right
funky
there.
bunch, yeah.
Awesome.
That's Billy right there. And that's Zach, our business partner.
I love it.
How many guys are there in
There's
this?
just us 3.
We
Just
have
the 3 of you.
Yeah.
So you 3 of you do everything.
We do.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
When it comes time for blending, you guys, the 3 of you, kind of
Yeah.
sit down and
take tasting notes and
we need more
blend
fruit,
barrels.
or we need more
Exactly.
sort of base.
Yeah, we need more funky beer in this one, or we need
Yeah.
less, or yeah, exactly.
So you guys keep some barrels aside that are sort of neutral, where you just
We've got
can add.
we've got a neutral tote basically that we kind of have a blending tote, and then we have other totes just filled with 2 of them are filled with the stone fruit right now. We've got a kiwi persimmons on right now.
Yeah, we
Ooh,
got kiwi,
wow.
persimmon, and passion fruit sour beer we're coming out.
Yeah, so we're just kind of playing with flavors, approaching it more like you would like make a dessert,
But everything finishes really dry, so you get a lot of the complexities from the fruits. We've got a peach and nectarine sour beer that we're really excited about coming out next, and where we used organic peaches and nectarines and a little bit of plums. So we call it our stone fruit sour.
Yeah, so it's whatever they had at the end of the day at the market. So if it had stone in it, we took it and we just made a stone fruit sour out of it.
That's
Very cool.
awesome. Where is the best way to keep up with you guys, beer releases, all that stuff going on?
I would say go to our website and just basically sign up for the newsletter would be the best. But otherwise, Facebook,
Are you guys on
Instagram,
the Facebook,
we're on the
Twitter,
Facebook,
you're on,
Instagram.
you're on all the social medias.
Yeah, we're all that.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, Cameron, Billy, thank you so much for
Cool.
coming on Beer
Awesome.
for
Yeah,
Breakfast.
thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for opening
It's
up
awesome.
my eyes once again to a style that I think I don't like, but I actually do enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Much
Thank you, guys.
success
Thank
to you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Paul, as always, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
This is the highlight of my week, other than Friday mornings when you come in live,
Well,
and we do the on-air
that's
version.
pretty fun, too.
Right? Every Friday morning, 8:45, you can hear Paul come in, and with the Moog Show, we try some beers. 8:45 every Friday on 91X, and as always, you can find previous episodes of Beer for Breakfast at 91x.com. Thanks, and go out there and try some beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.